Okay, so government class, just um, a couple minute video here, kind of on your topic from today to clarify a couple things that are a little difficult. So let's start with types of laws first. So you saw that there was four types of laws. The vast majority of laws are the statutory kind, right? They're the ones that are passed by the legislative branch and they become laws. But clearly things like change very quickly. And so this is where the one that I want to get into is so key, and that's called common law. So like for instance, we have on the books that the law of destruction of property, right? So if I destroy your property, then I of course am liable to pay you back and potentially serve jail time or fines or whatever the punishment might be. So I couldn't say I don't know. Let's say you've got your car parked in the parking lot. I couldn't come through and just smash into it with my hoverboard and then claim that I'm not liable for it, right? Because the law doesn't say that I can't do that with my hoverboard. Well, hoverboards are new, and so the law probably doesn't specifically mention them. But common sense would tell us, well, if you can't destroy property with a car, or with just walking around and using a hammer to destroy somebody's property, then you also can't do it with your brand new hoverboard that was just invented. Okay, and so that's what common law means. So that's really the only one I think that's kind of a little difficult to understand. Just wanted to clarify that. All right, now there are some misconceptions though with fair trials, and so let me clarify a couple of them. So first, one that oftentimes is misunderstood is the right to bail. So bail is the ability or the opportunity to conduct your normal life between the period when you're arrested and charged with a crime and when your trial ends. Because remember, in the American judicial system, we view you as innocent until proven guilty. So bail is basically like collateral, right? What it is just it's giving money to the court. Okay, typically a pretty large amount that normally you take out a loan for actually, but you take out a loan for this money and you give this big amount of money to the court, and that's basically guaranteeing that every time you have a trial date, you'll show up, right? And you'll show up to your court date, your trial date, until the end of the trial. Okay, now, if you skip out, right, if you skip town, or if you miss a trial date on accident for whatever reason, then you lose that money, and then you have to spend the rest of the time during your trial in jail. Right, so this is an opportunity for you to be innocent until proven guilty. You can live your normal life, right? You can go to work, you can visit family, you can visit friends, right? I mean, there's very few restrictions for the most part, but you have to put that money up. And if you miss a trial date, it's gone. Now, here's the part that most people misunderstand. At the end of your trial, guilty or not guilty, you get the money back. Okay? So it's not like, oh, you're guilty, you lose it. No. You showed up to all your trial dates, right? You showed up to everything you were supposed to. You get the money back, regardless of what the verdict of your trial actually is. Okay? All right. Now, the other ones are quicker to explain, but they're commonly misunderstood. The right to a jury trial. So a jury must be unanimous, right? All 12 members of the jury must agree that you are guilty or not guilty, okay? And if it's split, if after a long time of discussing it and deliberating it and debating it and maybe even going back to the judge and he might even say, no, like you go back and discuss it more. If after that amount of time you're still split, right? Maybe it's 10-2 or it's 8-4 or whatever it is. Then it's called a hung jury, and there would have to be a whole new trial over this case. All right, so and again, it's not like, oh, if not all 12 people call me guilty, then I'm free. I'm gone. I don't have to be punished. Nope, there would be a new trial that would be started with new jurors. Okay, new members of the jury. So yeah, a jury must be unanimous, right? All guilty or all not guilty. All right, and the last one, the idea of innocent until proven guilty. So if you serve on a jury, you are supposed to assume that the person on trial is innocent until they are proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And what that means is, and the judge would explain this to you as a juror, what that means is if like at the end of the trial, you're just got a lot of doubts back there. You're like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem right. It seems things don't seem to fit together. Then you should say not guilty. It's the job of the prosecuting attorney, right? The person that's bringing the charges against the accused. It's their job to make you not have a doubt, or at least not any large doubts, right? You should be fairly certain, beyond fairly certain. In fact, you should be very certain that this person is guilty. If you don't feel that way, then you need to say not guilty. Okay, so those are some things that are I think commonly misunderstood. Um, we're going to put into practice now in tomorrow's lesson. We're going to see if you can identify some of these ideas in court cases and stuff. But yeah, these are critical. And to be honest with you guys, we gloss over them. Many countries don't have these assurances of fair trials. Okay, and I'm not naive. I understand that some trials don't end up being very fair. Okay, whether because of racism or discrimination or somebody that doesn't have a lot of money. I get that, but most countries don't even have these ideals laid out. Right, there's just no attempt even to hit these things, and so hopefully you feel at least in this aspect proud to be an American that we attempt to have fair trials for everyone.